Welcome to the Collective Mindset Podcast. I am Gavin.
I'm Jordan.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Today, we are going to talk about the top 5 home buyer mistakes.
Huge mistakes, guys. Huge mistakes. Let's not make any of these. No, sir.
And there's a million you could make, but we're picking these 5 because we see them a lot. So, probably one of the number one things I see, and the number one things I think real estate agents probably experience, is clients that are out there shopping but with no budget.
No budget whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just they saw this house as they drove by, thought it was awesome,
Yeah.
and wanted to buy it. Which is where the dream begins, so that's okay. But it can also be pretty disheartening to a future home buyer to find out that that house was actually $750,000 and their budget was $500,000.
Yeah. Your spouse, partner, whoever, kids are going to be really sad when they get the real budget if it's not that. So always smart to, go down that path, get pre-qualified, see what you can afford, see what a payment looks like for the types of homes you're looking at. A lot of people on Zillow, I think they go down the Zillow rabbit hole, right? And they find all the awesome houses out there, and then they get the reality check.
Well, one thing I was going to say in regards to making sure you get pre-qualified with a legit lender is because oftentimes, I hear a lot of clients are like, oh, hey, I looked at the payment estimator on Zillow, yada, yada, right? And that's where they're coming up with it. But I've often found that payment estimator is not accurate. Oftentimes they'll leave out HOA dues, or it'll just throw in some random number for property taxes. So for those of you who are, buying a house for the first time, you have the principal, the interest on the loan, so that's your mortgage payment. And then depending on how much money you put down, you're going to have mortgage insurance if it's less than 20%. Then you're going to have the property taxes and your homeowner's insurance, and then you might have an HOA fee as well. So all of those things come into that payment, and so it's important that you get that accurate information so that you have an exact payment. And then what you can qualify for is just a math problem, guys. It is just what is your debt to income ratio. So you could make the exact same amount of money as your buddy at work. You guys can have the exact same salary, but if you've got a $500 truck payment and he has a $150 motorcycle payment, well, you guys aren't going to be able to buy the same house. So get pre-approved, find out what your budget is, get that dialed in.
I love it. What's next?
Next on our list is going to be credit. You got to know where your credit's at, okay? Yeah. So if you're going out there and you have no idea where your credit scores are, you haven't looked at the 15 different free estimators out there. I mean, think about it. Obviously, you have the Credit Karmas and stuff like that, but any bank, if you work bank at Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, you name it, guess what? They're going to have a credit journey tracker. If you have any credit card with, say, a Capital One or American Express, Discover, they're going to have a credit score tracker thing that's in there that's free, that's provided with the service. You need to keep an eye on that and monitor it. So, Gavin, as someone prepares and they're starting, let's say they're a few months out and they're going over this, what are some credit do's or don'ts? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of just it goes along with step 1, right? You know your budget. You need to know your credit. And so getting pre-qualified, talking to a lender, it's step 1, step 1A, 1B. Know where your credit score is at. That's going to dictate what loan product we might put you in. That's going to dictate what your rate's going to be. It's going to impact that payment. You want to make sure you're maximizing that, right? So the worst thing we see is when we pull credit and it's a 719 or a 759, right?
659.
Whatever it is, or a 659, right? Where whatever it is, but you're just below that little tier that would have helped you out. It would have put you in a better loan program, or it would have gotten you a better rate or better mortgage insurance cost. You just want to maximize that. So, don't rack up your credit cards, or don't, go out and have a medical collection hit and then next month try and buy a house. You just want to be mindful of it. You want to plan, gamify it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Pay your credit card off the week before the statement closes instead of the week after, right? When you get the bill. So gamify it, plan ahead, talk to a professional who can help you walk through that process, let you know what little things you can tweak to improve your score. Because, sometimes, from I think 720 and above, conventional mortgage insurance tends to get a little bit better. But if you're a 719, you probably could have paid off one credit card just a teeny tiny bit and saved yourself $40 a month or something, right? plan ahead, talk to someone who knows, and do those things and get prepared. So
I'd say as far as like planning ahead, I would say the idea would be a minimum of like 3 months ahead of time. If you know that it's June and you want to be in a new place by September, okay, you should start right now. At least have that initial conversation with the lender, because when Gavin says gamify that, like, you're probably going to need to pull your credit within the next 30 days or so. And there's certain little tricks you can do on your credit to boost that score inter-month, right?
Yeah.
And if you kind of don't do anything and you're a person who, you get the statement in the mail and then you make the payment or whatever, like, that is not gamifying it. So we can help you do that. But the idea is you pay that balance down or off prior to you getting the statement in the mail. Because when they've cut that statement in the mail and it says the balance is $1,700, that's the same statement that's getting sent to all 3 credit bureaus. So you want to pay that balance down before that gets out. So it seems a little contrary to what it is, but those are some things that a professional lender can help you. If it's some guy that does 3 loans a year and lives in his mom's basement, probably not your guy that's going to give you those kind of tips, because they haven't done enough transactions to know.
Good advice.
Okay, moving on. Number 3 in our top 5 list. Gavin, what do you got?
So we see this quite often. Once again, it's all about not planning ahead. Most of these mistakes are that. But people don't change jobs, don't go on vacation, don't do unpaid time off. I know it's summer, it's very tempting, but if you're planning to buy a house, you just don't want to be doing that right now. Or talk to a lender before you do those things, right? Because maybe it does impact you, maybe it doesn't, but definitely don't change jobs. Don't go from W-2 to 1099 because they're going to pay you more. Like it's not going to help you in all cases. So definitely something you need to be mindful of.
Yeah, and the reason being, guys, if let's say that you're a software salesperson and you have a salary plus commission, and you're like, well, I got a higher salary at this place, but I'm still going to be salary plus commission. They're going to require you to be on that new job probably for at least 6 months before they're going to have an idea what stable income is, and they're still going to use a 2-year average. And so try to avoid switching jobs. It just resets the clock, causes a couple, challenges. Some scenarios where it's good is if it's like it is a fixed salary, you're a professional, you got a written offer letter that says your new salary is X, and you can provide that. Then there's no problem. In fact, you can switch and buy the house before you even start that new job.
Yeah.
So again, the reason why you need to talk to a professional lender.
Talk to someone before you do it, right?
Yes, sir.
What we got next?
Talking about cash monies, guys. The reason being is obviously when you're buying a house, you need a down payment. So you got to come up with some money. And a lot of times we have clients that make some mistakes with this money, and that's identifying where the down payment is. So Gavin, what are some of the crazy ways or very, very common ways that people try to come up with down payment?
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of things, right? They're going to pull cash out the safe, out of the mattress, wherever it may be.
Why is that a problem?
Right? They sold some stuff. PD. You just got to document and source every dollar that's going into a transaction. Maybe you're getting a gift, and yes, that's okay. There's a process to that. Unless you want us digging through grandma's bank statements, there's a process to that. So talk to a lender first. There's a process to, pulling money out of your 401k if that's something you need to do.
Yeah.
There's, maybe there's some creative ways that we can help you with that cash that's in your mattress, in your safe. Like all of these things are just things you want to talk with a person that's helping you with that loan. Make sure you are transparent with them.
Yeah.
Don't, 2 weeks before closing and they ask you for that final bank statement and you give it to them and all of a sudden there's 7 incoming deposits from all your other crazy accounts, your Aunt Sally, Grandma, everyone sending money your way for this down payment, and we had no idea that was happening. Mm-hmm. Now as lenders, we're scrambling. We're saying we need gift letters, we need this. Well, where's that check from? It just, maybe it doesn't kill the deal, but man, does it make your life miserable when we start asking you for every single, check, deposit, transfer, where'd this come from? We're going to ask you about all of it. So make your life easy. Talk to us first, because there might be a better, smoother, less paperwork intense way to do it.
Yeah.
that saves your bacon in the end.
A little detail that I've come across a lot is just obviously the cash deposits. So there's a reason why you can't use cash, guys. There's the anti-money laundering laws that we have to follow. There is a certain portion of it, depending on the loan type, that cash is allowed, but it's typically pretty minimal. Yeah. And so if you're someone that has $10,000, $20,000 in a safe at home, and you know you're going to use it for a transaction, real estate transaction, my advice is to get that deposited 90 days prior to your home purchase transaction, because then you can still provide your lender with 2 months recent bank statements that don't show this large cash deposit. So you would have to do that. But if you all of a sudden, you've got $10,000 in cash and you're buying a $300,000 house, that deposit is going to be excluded and you will not be able to use that money in the real estate transaction. So that's why that is very, very important. And it can cause some nice little challenges down the way.
100%.
Yep.
Last one, number one mistake we are seeing is clients who are not working with a professional real estate agent, professional lending person, whoever that may be. It's a mistake.
What do you mean by professional real estate agent?
I just mean, look, if your uncle, cousin does a deal every 2 years, and you're trying to go in and negotiate the best deal ever, or go into a situation where 4 people are making an offer on the same house, your uncle cousin is not winning that negotiation. He doesn't know to tell you how to avoid these other mistakes we just listed out. He doesn't know all the steps. He hasn't seen hundreds of transactions. I'm talking full-time professionals. People who make a living doing these jobs are people who have seen enough to know how to help you walk through each and every step, avoid the pitfalls, avoid the mistakes, ease the headache that might be coming of just buying a home. It is a cumbersome process at times. They can make it better. So you want to work with a professional, someone who has seen it all.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. In like real estate, we have a saying like, "Oh, I've seen it all until that transaction," right? And there's always just something more. And so you have guys like Gavin and I that have been in the business for, combined over 30 years. We've literally seen thousands of transactions. And so that's the value you're getting when you use someone like us. Same thing goes for a real estate agent. If you're working with a real estate agent, with all due respect to some real estate agents, I appreciate the side hustle, I really do. But if you've only done one transaction in the last 24 months, you have not seen it all. You have not come across certain experiences. Whereas if you're working with a team that's a producing team, or an agent that this is their profession, they do it every single day, they're doing 4 or 5 transactions every single month. Those real estate agents, they know in and out. They know how to negotiate. They know how to make sure that the inspection goes good. They know how to make sure that the appraisal is going to come in, and they know how to talk to the appraiser. I mean, there's so many things that are involved to make sure it's a smooth transaction. And I mean, that's our goal, right? We want to make sure that the transaction from start to finish is a wonderful experience for you. And if everybody involved is awesome and responsive and professional, yet we've got some wild card over here agent that forgot to order the pest inspection or something like that, then we're gonna, it's gonna make things a little bit bumpier. So those are just kind of some of the suggestions we think that are very, very high level, top 5 kind of mistakes that people make, that hopefully you guys can take away and be like, I need to make sure I've got these things dialed in. But I think the key is just in the very beginning, choose the right real estate agent and the right lending partner. We'd love it if you chose us, of course.
Yep.
And you're typically going to have a much smoother process if you do those things. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, obviously these are our top 5. Everyone's situation is different. You're probably more inclined to make a different mistake, but let us help you, find that out before you do it. So just start early, reach out, ask questions. If there's something you're worried about that you think might be an issue, or something you're thinking you want to do or don't know how to do, talk to us. Let us help you walk you through it, and smooth out those bumps that might be coming. So. Yeah,
as a prospective client or a prospective home buyer, if you've watched this, awesome first step. You're well on your way. And reach out to whichever lender you'd like that's going to be professional to help you kind of get pre-approved. If that's us, awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.